Welcome to the Chipp Builder series, where we get to interview those at the forefront of AI and technology. We're excited to have an artist turned CMO who's a builder and leader growing the impact of nonprofits in his current role as CMO at DonorDock. When he's not back to visit Merlin the Mystic, this proud North Dakotan's helping to imagine how AI can change software and teams. Meet the greatest Rob since McElhaney, the greatest Burke since Doris. It's your friend and mine, Rob Burke. How's it going?
That's good. That was definitely AI written, huh?
No, that was me. Yeah, that was me. Wrong the Mystic. That's not in the training data. That's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut.
That required some Googling to figure out the mascot of your alma mater. So it is so awesome to have you. And tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now for April Fools, which is what got me excited to do this interview and kind of how it fits into your idea of the future of software and business.
Yeah. So we're launching a fun April Fool's Day products today. It's Zoltar. So if you're familiar with the old movie Big, where he goes to Zoltar for his fortune, we're creating that where you just enter in your donor's information and you get back a very fantastic future fortune for them. So it's a fun little prank one, but hopefully it'll go over well.
Well, one thing that is so incredible is how quickly people can build now in this day. So yeah, show it to us and then tell us a little bit how long it took and maybe what that means generally for us as builders and leaders.
All right. So this is the donor teller, the fortune teller. We call it, it's the Zoltar from Big. We just created a landing page here and underneath is Chipp AI, but you just enter in your donor's name. So we'll put in Johnny Quest here and it gets you back a fortune for them to act on. Johnny Quest will unearth an ancient artifact that triples your fundraising efforts. Man, wouldn't that be great?
This is so great. So tell us about how you came up with the concept and how you built it, because it looks great. And I think it'll be a lot of fun today for people.
Yeah. So, the cool thing about this was my social media manager came up with a great idea yesterday on Thursday at 1 p.m. And she's like, we should do an April Fool's Day product launch just for the fun of it as kind of like a social media gig. And I thought it was a great idea. So we brainstormed for about 20 minutes. And because of Chipp, I was able to create a prompt around an AI chatbot in about 10 minutes. So it took like no time at all. And then, just a few hours to design out the website and kind of integrate it into this Zoltar piece here. So Chipp was instrumental in actually making this work, right? Where I didn't have to program all these fortunes. It's just creating them on a whim. And I think it turned out great.
It's awesome. Well, your background's not technical as like a coder, but I'm really fascinated how you are using your artistic mind and maybe accessibility with these new AI tools to build. So tell us a little bit about kind of how you're taking advantage of these tools and how you sort of get started.
Yeah, I mean, AI it's just the way that I put it a year and a half ago when GPT really started becoming prevalent was to my team. I said, it's not if we're going to use AI, it's how we're going to use AI. It's going to become prevalent in everything that we do, and to streamline efficiencies and processes, keep them faster or get them faster. And so I've always kind of had that vision of, we're not going to fight against this. Our copy is going to be AI assisted, things like that. And the way that I think it is right now is it gets you 80% of the way there. It's not like it's replacing our jobs, but it's assisting us, right? And in the nonprofit sector, especially for our customers who are usually small or new nonprofits, they wear so many hats. And so AI is like this godsend, in my opinion, that if you can create tools and provide tools to these nonprofits, they don't have to learn how to use AI. They just have these tools that are AI driven. They can cut down hours of time for them of anything from writing grants to writing the emails to their new donors to helping them scrape their data to know who to reach out to, all of these different things. There's so many use cases for it.
Yeah. So DonorDock in my mind is a CRM for nonprofits. And I'm wondering, there's, like you said, so many ways AI could help, but also your audience might not want to learn, right? Like they just want the benefit. So how do you think about integrating AI into a product in like a gentle way that's maybe even invisible, right? To the user.
Right. Core value of DonorDock is simplicity. So that's at the forefront of a lot of our conversations when we talk about AI is we don't want to just create this new tool inside of DonorDock where you have to learn something new and you have to know how to prompt it and all that. So we're taking it as almost this piecemeal approach where For instance, we have smart nudges in our action board, which is a task management system inside the CRM, and that's actually scraping the data for them and serving up suggestions on a daily basis for like an executive director saying like, hey, here are the daily 5 that you should reach out to, just so they know. Or, it's Scott's birthday today, you should give him a call. Or it's Scott's gift anniversary for his first gift. It's serving up all these actionable items so that you can take action on 'em. You don't have to know how to use AI. It's just giving you that information.
Right.
We have some more basic things like our email builder has AI built in where it can help you, create subject lines and copy. And that's kind of becoming almost a standard or an expected in today's day and age, right, of these systems. But we've got some cool features in the works right now where we're trying to incorporate it into the DonorDock rather than it just being this thing that sits on top of DonorDock. You have to prompt it, but actually incorporating it into help you assist you in your data management and being data driven.
Right. Yeah. So I like that. So it's like, first step is like awareness. Here's things you should do. Second step is actually helping them do those things. And then maybe sounds like third step is actually reflecting back results, reports, insights, like you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. We've got some cool things in the works with like lead scoring or donor scoring, giving them some insights based on their data, not industry averages, but saying like, we're going to use AI to scrape your own data and tell you if these new contacts are what score they are compared to your previous donors and your previous fundraising history. So we've got some cool things in the works with that will be kind of AI driven as well.
One of the things I always see when I do workshops, I ask if people have used ChatGPT and almost everyone raised their hand. And then I say, who's used it this week? And, 1 or 2 people raise their hand. So I'm curious, how did you, first of all, get your team to integrate AI into your workflows and make it like a repeatable process? And then taking that a step further to your clients with DonorDock, like, are you seeing any trends of people actually putting it in their workflow or maybe what's success look like for that?
Yeah, for our teams, I think it came back again to me telling them that it's not if we're going to use it, it's how we're going to use it. So I kind of forced it on them a little bit, and they'll even admit, like the marketing team, they'll admit, like if I hadn't forced them to start using it now that they know the benefits of it, they probably use it every day or multiple times a week at least. On the nonprofit side of things, it's an interesting sector because in my opinion, small nonprofits or nonprofits in general tend to be late adopters. And so they're not necessarily like, biting at the bit to get AI in their stuff. And so again, that's where it comes back to like, we only want to try to provide these new tools if it's going to simplify their lives, not add more things for them to learn or have to do. Right. So, we're not a enterprise level CRM. We're built for small nonprofits. And so they need time taken off of their plate rather than new things added. And so we try to take that mental approach of like, they're not biting at the bit for a full-fledged AI to do all their stuff. But if we can introduce like little small features of saying like, hey, did you try this? This is going to take a few hours off your plate to help you write, or this is going to tell you who to call today so you don't have to think about it. Things like that.
That's amazing. I like the idea of like leaning into the outcome, right? Like you're going to save time, you're going to get more donations. Are there tools that you have found outsized impact with, that you use maybe yourself?
That's a good question. Some of the tools that AI is moving so quickly. It feels like you can try a new tool every day. And that's maybe the tough part with early adopting. But, a tool that we're using quite heavily on the back end of our content writing to kind of, like I said, get us to 80% of the way in there. And then we adjust it and add in our thought leadership. But Content at Scale is a really great AI writing tool. So it helps you create articles and blogs and whatnot. And you can, we pull our podcast into it. It can listen to the audio and give us show notes, things like that. So that's a good tool. But there's so many out there that I don't feel like there's really a clear winner yet or clear like, hey, this is the industry standard. It's kind of, you can test a lot of them if you want, or, kind of at Scale I'd recommend. Chipp is a great one if you're needing like an AI assistant that you can feed in information, right? And build it for your team to use. Maybe it's your team that doesn't want to figure out how to use ChatGPT, and you can ingest all of your own information into it. So it's a little bit more guardrailed, if you will.
Let's step back and think what advice you might have for builders. A lot of people we talk to would like to build, and AI is kind of this interesting moment. So curious what encouragement you might have for people who like you and I maybe are less technical, but maybe now have an opportunity. So what's kind of the opportunity or the next step someone should take if they're interested in becoming a builder?
That is a good question. I always approach everything with a learner's mindset. You don't have to know everything, but you have to have a mindset that you need to learn constantly. And so if you want to build something, like you mentioned, Scott, right now we live in a really cool time where you don't have to have deep knowledge in, say, coding. A lot of this you can start to figure out and watch YouTube videos and read some articles around prompt engineering and what does it mean to, kind of guide these AIs into what you want them to do, and watching how other people do it, testing things yourselves. There's just so much great information out there. We live in a day of information, right? So if you have a learning mindset, that you can pretty much learn anything pretty quickly nowadays.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, Rob Burke is leading things up at DonorDock, a great CRM for nonprofits looking to not only organize their work, but also take advantage of AI now in a seamless and somewhat invisible way, which I think is really going to be the future, where we are all taking advantage of AI without necessarily asking it. So if you have not already gotten your fortune, make sure you go to see Zoltar. We'll put the link in the show notes, and you can uncover hidden wealth in your donor list or just have a good time. So Rob, thanks for playing with Chipp. Thanks for building, and thanks for inspiring us.